After much anticipation, the play-in tournament seeds locked in, gentlemen. So let's start in the West, where the Lakers, as we've mentioned 106 times already, will face off with the Warriors. The winner securing the 7th seed in the conference. Now, the Grizzlies and Spurs, they meet in a single elimination playoff game. So whoever loses that game, out. And then the winner will face the loser of Lakers-Warriors for the 8th seed. So, Matt, let's start with that 9-10 game in the West. What are your expectations for Grizzlies-Spurs?
This is a new Grizzlies team, young team, new head coach to the experience versus one of the greatest coaches of all time in Popovich. So I like this young, exciting Memphis team. If this is a 7-game series, I'm going with San Antonio. But for one game, I'm going to take the youth and go with Memphis.
Oh, this is tough. I think with Jackson back and the way they're playing, Valanciunas is playing great. Having Jackson is such a important part because he's a stretch four, he's a big, he's like athletic, he does so much. So I'm gonna go with the Grizzlies in a 1-game situation. I'm not picking against the Spurs, but in a 7-game, like you said, I think like Pop could tactically take someone away.
Okay, so this is an interesting question, though. If you decide one team has the coaching advantage, and that, by the way, is no knock, it's just saying
You're
going against
Greg Popovich is possibly the greatest coach of all time, depending on what part of the country you live in. Do you think it's more of an advantage in a one lose-and-you're-out game because the better tactical or more experienced tactical coach can give you a look you're not expecting?
No.
Or do you think it's at the adjustments later in the series?
That's it. It's in-game adjustments, and that's what makes some coaches good to great, being able to in-game adjust. And I think Pop can coach his team to a win with all kinds of adjustments and taking away what they're good at. But if you only got one shot at it, it's really
we've seen 60-win coaches lose jobs. We've seen Coach of the Years lose jobs because you got into the postseason and you didn't have the ability to make adjustments. So I think that's a 7-game situation. 1 game, the young horses, and we're going to go out there with nothing to lose. So, and you're playing against the Spurs, I think. 7-game Spurs, 1-game situation, I go with the Grizzlies.
Okay, all right. So, Matt, what are your expectations for Lakers-Warriors?
Same situation. I think over a 7-game situation, I think LeBron and them would be too much. But the way Steph is playing right now, the fact that LeBron had a minor tweak, even though he says it's fine, they're not all the way in rhythm. This is really a coin flip to me. I mean, Steph Curry's playing the best basketball of his life right now. Draymond is right there with him as far as keeping this team going. And this team is just playing off of energy. Everyone thought Steph was going to be exposed this year, and he has no one this year, and he's come out to possibly be the MVP, led the league in scoring. So they're going against the hottest player in the world right now, and the Lakers better be ready.
Woo! So I think the only reason why I think that the Lakers win this game is because, not saying you can take away Steph, because you can't. It's been proven you can't take away Steph, but what you can do is make others beat you more than you normally would. So if the other guys step up, if Draymond steps up, if you get guys like Kent Bazemore, if you get other guys that have a 15, 17-point game, then I think they win. But if you're just going to look for Wiggins, if you just get guys that are just like, Steph's going to score 40 and take us there, I think the Lakers, because their size and all that. But I think the Warriors win the next game, no matter who wins.
Right.
And I think the Lakers win and get the 7th spot.
What do you think about offensively in terms of, can the Lakers have enough firepower at this point, right now, with guys still coming back and feeling each other out, to keep up with if Steph does manage to go off for another 45 or so?
The size. I think that Lakers size in a 1-game situation, their interior. You got Drummond. You're starting to see the impact that he can have with Anthony Davis and LeBron James in there. And again, they do have a couple of guys that can run around. KCP, Caruso. They've got guys that can at least try and run around and chase Steph. I don't think they have many guys on their roster that can handle Anthony Davis or LeBron James. So it's like we can't just look at Steph and say he's outstanding and not look over at Anthony Davis and LeBron. It's like, well, who do they have to try and match up with those two? And I don't really think they have anyone on their roster.
I think what RJ says is important. Can Wiggins or Oubre or someone else step up and be that second star that Clay would have been? Yeah. I think that's the key, because even if Steph goes off for 45 points isn't going to win the game. You're going to need some more firepower.
Yeah, if he outscores the starting lineup, like he did in this last game,
the rest of his starting
Golden State Warriors weren't winning. And that's not a knock on the Warriors or Steph, but if he outscores the starting lineup like he did, they'll lose that game.
But if they're shooting the ball like they've been shooting and playing, this is going to be, and this is again why as a fan I love the playing, because this is excitement. This is just leading up to the playoffs.
You like it because you're not in it.
Exactly.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.